This is my audience. Hi, I'm Kaitlin, and I'm going to be discussing with you how wild animals are used for entertainment and education purposes, and how living in captivity negatively affects animals physically, emotionally, and socially. Have any of you ever been to a zoo, circus, or aquarium? Did you ever actually take a good look at the animals, the conditions they were in, and the treatment they were receiving? I care about this topic because I believe that animals should have more rights, or at least deserve better, more humane treatment. I'm going to try to persuade you not to go to zoos, circuses, aquariums, or any other attractions where captive animals are held and poorly treated. I'm going to discuss with you how animals in captivity suffer physically and mentally, and the neglect and abuse they often endure, alternative ways to interact with and learn about wild animals, and how both animals and people can benefit from not attending these attractions. Animals in captivity experience many physical and mental problems, as well as inhumane and cruel treatment. Animals kept in captivity are more apt to developing diseases and conditions that can deteriorate the state of their physical health. For example, elephants have an average lifespan of around 65 years old. In captivity, however, elephants frequently suffer from health ailments such as tuberculosis, which is a bacterial infection of the lungs, and arthritis, a condition that often affects their feet or joints. Animals, particularly in petting zoos, are exposed to bacteria that live in the intestinal tracts and are shed through feces such as E. coli, Salmonella, and Cryptosporidium. These bacteria can cause serious illnesses in not only the animals, but the people who come in contact with them as well. A study conducted from 1991 to 2005 and published in an article titled Zoos Disease Prevention Frequently Ignored revealed that there were at least 55 reported outbreaks of intestinal diseases associated with animals that were displayed in public settings throughout the United States. In addition, animal senses can also be impaired when confined in captive environments. In the case of marine mammals such as dolphins or orcas, the high frequency of aquariums and tanks, as opposed to the soft sounds covering a wider bandwidth in the ocean, can eventually cause them to lose their hearing and go deaf. Life in captivity also negatively affects wild animals mentally and socially. Holding wild animals in captivity limits them in numerous ways from acting to their full potentials. This can hold to be especially true for dolphins and orca whales, whose highly competitive nature is stifled when they are confined to a small tank. While a challenging environment of the ocean allows these animals to interact at high levels, the limited size and quality of an aquarium or tank prevents them from exercising their physical and mental aptitude. In addition, many animals in the wild, again including dolphins and orcas, as well as land animals such as elephants, exist in large groups and form strong bonds to one another. These ties are severed when these animals are separated from each other, resulting in disruption of their social lives. These animals are then subject to extreme boredom and anxiety, which in turn results in replacing their normal activities with stereotypical behavior. While tigers in the wild generally spend the majority of their time hunting and guarding their territory, tigers held captive in environments such as circus cages are forced to release their energy by pacing around. Specialists have even recently come up with the term zoochosis, which is defined as abnormal and self-destructive behavior, to describe the activities these captive animals engage in when they are closely confined and deprived of proper physical or mental exercise. I'm now going to tell you about the cruel and inhumane treatment and living conditions that these animals are forced to endure. Although there are some laws to prevent the harsh treatment of animals, many factors such as finances, lack of knowledge and resources, carelessness, and simply pure brutality all lead to unthinkable living conditions for the animals held captive. Although more than 112 million people visit zoos and other animal attractions each year, directors and managers of zoos are often more concerned with the profit they receive rather than the well-being of the animals. According to an article written by Kai Bingbing and Wang Dezhong in the International Journal of Biology, many businesses and establishments claim to seek economic profits in the name of environmental protection. Many zoos claim to breed animals for the sake of the conservation of a species, although oftentimes these offspring are sold directly to other wild animal parks or circuses, where the animals are then immediately thrown into difficult and dangerous activities and programs, such as walking on wires and jumping through rings of fire. In addition, Bingbing and Dezhong also note that in order to ensure consumer and tourist safety, many zoos inflict acts of mutilation on these animals, oftentimes removing their teeth or cracking their nails. There have been countless incidents of animal cruelty in zoos and circuses reported throughout the years. Although some zoos consist of gateless parks and exhibits, many animals are confined in tiny cells that are made of nothing but concrete slabs and iron bars. Unfortunately, animals held in captivity are often subject to and exposed to unethical treatment on a daily basis. Birds' wings are frequently clipped in order to restrict them from flying. Aquatic animals are provided with little amounts of water, and animals who usually thrive in large groups are either kept in solitary confinement or with one other member of their species. In addition to living alone or with a limited number of companions, these animals are also forced to live in close proximity to humans as well. Animals held in captivity are also routinely deprived of proper food and nutrients, as well as appropriate exercise. It is clear that containing wild animals in captivity for entertainment and education purposes negatively impacts them in multiple ways. Not only does confinement to a small enclosed area, such as a cage or an aquarium, limit the animals physically, but also socially and mentally, being detrimental to their overall health in a variety of ways. Virginia McKenna, who starred in the classic movie titled Born Free, in which she worked with captive animals, states her adversity to holding animals in captivity, particularly zoos, by declaring, "It is the sadness of zoos which haunts me, the purposeless existence of the animals. This is not conservation, and surely is not education. No, it is not entertainment, not comedy, however, but tragedy." While zoos, circuses, and aquariums claim to be educational, people should learn about wild animals in their natural habitats rather than a torturous enclosure. There are documentaries on channels such as Discovery Channel and Animal Planet that can be both entertaining and educational. Especially now with programs such as Planet Earth and Life, viewers can get a very detailed view of wild animals and their natural habitats such as deserts, oceans, forests, and tundras. There are also even many different kinds of wildlife tours. For example, in places like Florida, there are boat rides that tourists can take for a small fee to watch for dolphins and manatees. Many camps and state parks also offer tours too, in which you can explore various nature environments. With modern technology, it is also possible to learn about wild animals through virtual tours and videos. And then there are obviously internet sources and books that people can resort to. There are many ways to learn about wild animals without having to force them into captivity for our personal enjoyment and benefit. Using other resources to see and learn about wild animals can be beneficial to both people and the animals in many ways. Animals will act more natural in their own environment. Therefore, people will be able to witness more typical behaviors rather than the restless, anxious ones animals exhibit in captivity. People can learn more about animals' true nature by watching them in their natural environment. In addition, people could actually save money by not attending these attractions. Many of them are costly, and they may even be considered scams. And obviously, by not attending these attractions, they will eventually die out, and these animals will not be forced into captivity and have to endure any more cruel treatment. In conclusion, life in environments such as zoos, circuses, and aquariums can have extremely detrimental effects on the animals being held captive, both physically and mentally, and they are oftentimes subject to cruel treatment. I hope I have convinced you not to support animal attractions. Animal attractions are inhumane, and there are other, less harmful ways to learn about and interact with wild animals. Wild animals are meant to be kept exactly there, in the wild. They should not be forced out of their natural environment and into captivity. I hope you will consider all this information next time you think about giving your money to and supporting these types of establishments. Thank you.